Hey, I'm Shauna. Welcome to More Good News Only, the show where we celebrate the stories that uplift and bring us together every weekday morning at 10:30 a.m. We are recapping the good news only, the feel-good headlines, the community and the local wins that bring a little more light to your day. And I want to hear from you too. So if something good is happening in your world, a personal victory, a community success, a birthday, or just something that made you smile, send me an email to news25 at week.com and let me know what you thought about all of our shows and what your good news is. I would like to share your good news right here on the show. In the meantime, today's show is going to be full of good news as always. There are lots of things in our rundown to celebrate. We're going to have some good news about Carl Health, some good news about an Army veteran who is doing something very, very cool. I thought you guys might like to know about. I always try to share the things that are different, like things that people are getting out and doing because, something I was thinking about today is I came in contact with somebody who didn't seem like they were the happiest person. And, it just got me to thinking about how sometimes it's so hard just to feel happy, but that there are times when happiness is a choice that we have to make, right, in order to be okay sometimes. Because life is always going to life, things are always going to be hard. At times, not always, but there are going to be some things that are hard, right? We're going to have to deal with the hard things, the challenges, and we're human, so we're not perfect. For example, we don't have the right screen graphic back behind me, but I could be sad about it, or mad about it at myself, but I'm not going to be. I'm just going to fix it when we go to commercial break. And we're gonna carry on like it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that, happiness, you can definitely choose to be happy, or you could choose to be irritated, or choose to be frustrated with yourself, or choose to wallow in perfectionism. And think about what's not going right instead of what is. And that doesn't help anybody, right? It doesn't help anybody. We're choosing to focus on good news. And so it's just about, I think, sometimes in life, in our day to day life, taking those small moments, those small wins, and really celebrating those, really focusing on those, so that at the times where things that are out of our control come that are not such good news, that are not such joyous moments come along and kind of knock us down a little bit, we have a little bit in our reserve, right? We have a little bit of strength that comes from those joyous moments, those happy occasions, the small things that we have to be grateful for, the small things that we are grateful for, to kind of help carry us through those tough moments. So I would just like to encourage you to focus on happy today. And I would like to ask you to share with me how you focus on happy. How do you choose to be happy? What choices, small choices, do you make each day that are choosing happiness? And I'll share some of mine with you. News25week.com. Be sure you put Hey Shauna in the subject line so I know it's for me. In the meantime, we will have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to More Good News Only. So, Carl Health is investing $8 million into one of its hospitals in Pekin. So, let me show you a little bit of that video. Yep, we got it. Look, it's coming along with the new system here. I'm really starting to feel good about it. The project at Carl Health aims to modernize patient care by removing outdated spaces and improving accessibility. Now, plans include a new cafeteria and enhanced green spaces for patients and for staff. Sorry, busy back here. I don't know if you can hear, but this plan includes a new cafeteria and enhanced green spaces for patients and staff. If you didn't hear that, services are already relocated from the hospital's south towers. Those towers will be demolished to make way for new construction. The project is expected to be completed by mid 2027 with infrastructure upgrades happening simultaneously. You know what? Just the part about the towers being demolished, I noticed that there was a building in Peoria that had been torn down. And first, I hadn't really noticed. Oh, yes, in East Peoria, actually, in Peoria. So yeah, I was right. But there are two different occasions, 2 different weeks that I noticed these buildings, and it's so weird because I hadn't noticed really the buildings before until they were gone, and the feeling, the light, open, airy feeling that I kind of felt looking at the space where the buildings used to be was very interesting to me that I would feel that. It was a really good feeling, but it was just very interesting to me that I would feel better in a way after buildings that I had not previously kind of noticed. I think it kind of goes into being white noise in the back of your mind after you get used to seeing something for so long, and then there's an open space and you kind of feel open, you kind of feel free. But reading this story earlier today just kind of reminded me of how that is in life. Sometimes things have to be torn down to bring in something new and fresh. And so it's sometimes that demolition can be messy and loud and gritty and just dirty and ugly, painful even. But the rebuilding to make new, fresher, better, easier, healthier, happier, more efficient things, that it's just necessary. Like it's always, to me, it's worth it. There's always pain in just your personal life, and even your professional life. But there's pain in our everyday lives when things have to go away. But what comes up, what's built on top of that or after that, sometimes is better. Sometimes is you look back and you're like, I see why that thing had to happen. It may not have been pleasant, but it had to happen. So just thinking about, the words demolished and, all of the time and the memories and, somebody had to take time to build those things, right? It was blood, sweat, and tears and money involved in that. And now we're tearing it down to build something even better. I thought that kind of fit with what I was saying earlier, just about choosing to be happy when things are not the easiest or the most pleasant. And kind of being grateful for the little things in order to help cultivate happiness in our lives. But, just thinking about that when I said demolishing these old buildings and bringing in fresh new things, I thought I would share that thought because I definitely saw those buildings go down and I thought, why do I feel lighter? I mean, these buildings don't have anything to do with me, but I did. Just driving by them, I just felt lighter. And one of them wasn't completely torn, well, it was completely torn down, but there's still like rubble there. And it's like, man, all of the time and space that people held inside those buildings all crumbled with that structure, and just the excitement of the possibilities of new is in its wake. So that's cool. Let me know what you think about that. Do you know what two buildings I'm talking about? If you do, send me a message to news25week.com. But what's your take on that when old things have to go away and new things are brought about? I would love to hear it. So listen, an Army veteran, his name is James Bauer. He is preparing a ride from Washington, D.C. to New York City. And I thought this was kind of cool. Again, I always like to hear about people's hobbies and the things that they want to do. This ride is a part of the Wounded Warrior Project, Soldier Ride, making America's 25th, or marking America's 225th and 250th, I'm sorry, anniversary. So Bauer once was an Army medic and he struggled after being medically discharged. He says cycling helped him rediscover purpose and joy after difficult years. So ride director Jonas Harmon says the program helps veterans reconnect and heal. And Bauer says that definitely this has done exactly that for him. He says he wouldn't rather do anything else in this moment. Bauer now hopes to inspire others, saying every day feels like a new lease on life. Would you look at that? One thing ended, one career, one time in his life ended, and a new one began. And I'm sure he never thought that this would be that. So, speaking of new, a new book is offering a rare look inside of one of the world's most famous writers. Lots of new, lots of new. Let me see if I can get you that video. Lots of new things happening. So this new book, it's a Stephen King book. You know, every time I think about him, of course, I think, as most of us do, we think about Pet Cemetery. Do you remember those movies? I sure do. And I loved a good scary movie, but for whatever reason, I cannot think of, like, I just can't deal with cats in my mind the same when I think of that. Just always pets and semi trucks. Like, I can never get that movie out of my mind when I think about both of those two things. Anyway, this there's a new book and there's an author named Carolyn Bix, and she is releasing Monsters in the Archives. It's detailing her time studying Stephen King's work. Can you imagine that? Studying, like, horror books? Like, can you imagine? The research took place at King's Home Archives in Bangor. Bix examined drafts of classics like Carrie and The Shining and Pet Cemetery. Again, some of my favorites. She says the experience revealed King's discipline and creative process, and she found that very interesting. So King himself has praised the book as one of the best written about his work. Can you imagine having something written about yourself, like a book, and you're still here? And somebody's writing books about your life work. That's so cool. So, the books are expected to be released very soon. Hold on here. Let me get that date. I pushed my little button, and now I can't find where I was. But the books are expected to be released very soon, actually on Tuesday. That's tomorrow, April 21st. So, congratulations to her. I just cannot imagine, like, still being alive and somebody saying they wanted to research me and my work. There would be a whole lot of things I would have to go through mentally to prepare myself. There would probably be a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, me, who would want to study me? I had a hard time going to the African American Museum in Washington. That was weird, because a lot of those things were of my own culture, and it just seemed so strange that those things would be things that would be big deals to everybody else. So I can't imagine what that's like. But then I also cannot imagine studying all of these kind of horror books and films, and I don't know if I would be able to sleep at night. I like a good scary something, but um, I usually am pretty easily scared myself, so that's pretty cool. But congratulations to her and to him. So, this is a remarkable story coming up of generosity and survival out of California. So, there's a lady named Ruth Dorso. And I want to tell you about her right after the break. We'll have more good news only after the break. Box? No box. Welcome back to more Good News Only. So, I was telling you about Ruth Doriso before the break. She's returned to work at Sharp Memorial Hospital after a kidney transplant. Guess who her donor was? It was a coworker. Can you imagine that? Like you're working with somebody who is going to ultimately help save your life, and you don't even know it. So these two, is this all right? No, that's not the right video. There we go. There we go. There's Ruth. So they're working, and this co-worker turned out to be a perfect match in her time of need. Dorso works at a transplant assistant helping as a transplant assistant helping other people find donors, and then she herself found herself in a situation where she needed one. She says her experience gives her a deeper connection to patients who are in her same position. And she says that, Brenner, who is her coworker, says that donating was the most meaningful decision she's ever made. She shared messages, or they're shared messages during Donate Life Month, which is just never ever give up hope. I just can't imagine somebody else being right there. But I love the fact that this happened in the exact spot or a place where things like this are supposed to happen to others. I think that it shows that people who are in healthcare are just like everybody else. They can be and are susceptible to any of these things that ail the public, and they are definitely deserving of the same kind of care and that they can have these same experiences. I think that's very encouraging because sometimes it can feel like the doctors and nurses are kind of sciencey and not really in touch with what's actually happening to the person from just a personal human standpoint. Sometimes I think we forget that they have human experiences as well. And so I think this is just a great testament to how everybody is really truly connected. Even the fact that she's working right next to a person who's going to help save her life. Who knew they would be a perfect match? That is so cool. So, congratulations to the both of them, and thank you for your service. And so, next, we have another story about another hospital. But this one is about a nurse who grew up to work for or alongside the very doctor who delivered her. We'll have more on that story after the break. Welcome back to more good news only. At Altru Hospital, Nurse Grace Miller is now working right alongside the doctor who helped to deliver her. And I thought this was the coolest thing. I can't believe these kids are who were born in 2000 and 2004 are already adults. Nurse Grace Miller was born in 2004, and Dr. Tana Setnis Joseph was the person who performed her C-section in 2004 for her to be born. So Miller recently joined the hospital as a labor and delivery nurse. Can you believe that? The moment came full circle during their first surgery together. They were both assisting a woman give birth via C-section when Gracie, it dawned on her and she turned to Dr. Miller Dr. Josefson and reminded her that she delivered her as a baby. And the two have been close ever since. Now, Dr. Joseph says that when this happens, when you've worked in the field that she works in, as long as she's worked in it, you start to see those kids, those babies grow up. And she says it's really, truly a way to mark time. And so both say that the experience highlights the lasting impact of healthcare professionals, and their story is inspiring patients and staff alike. I thought that was so cool. Can you imagine looking up and then there's the little baby that you delivered, and now they're all grown up, standing right next to you, helping you deliver more babies? That is so cool. So, congratulations to both of them. And our next story is about a youth aviation program in Warsaw. It is encouraging more young women to enter the field. Participants like Charlotte Holbrook are learning flying, welding, and engineering skills. The Learn, Build, Fly program focuses on STEM education and leadership. And so organizers say women remain underrepresented in aviation, and mentors hope programs like this will help close that gap. Students are gaining hands-on experience and career inspiration. That's so cool. I don't know. I think it would be so cool to like fly. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think maybe I would be a little bit too nervous. But I wonder if after you do it for a while, if it's just like as automatic as driving a car. Like I would think that it's not, but it seems like maybe you would just kind of get used to it. Either way, I think it's so cool, and I think it's really cool that there are programs like this that are encouraging women to delve into STEM, and particularly in flying and welding. I think that is so cool. So congratulations to all those who are participating, and thank you to people who organize programs like this one. Well, that's a wrap from me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at WEK.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. In the meantime, be sure to check out all of the evening newscasts and meet me back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. I'm LaShawna Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day.